Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Laura with Stitchin with Laura. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is having a great Sunday. Well, today, speaking of Sunday, we're working on the Joy Sunday Beautiful Scenery of Park. And it is an 11 count and it says it's 70 by 55 centimeters. I would say that's like the entire size of the canvas. So the actual picture is 17 and a half, which makes it 44 and a half centimeters. So take 10 centimeters off of each of those numbers, and that's how big it is. And I don't know how long, so it would be 10 centimeters, so that'd be 60. 60 and a half. Probably 24. So 17 and a half by 24 is the actual picture. But yeah, I just love this picture. I have this in a diamond painting, actually, as well. And I've seen it several times by different people. I don't know if they're all Joy Sunday kits or what, but yeah, I just absolutely love this. I would just love to go and sit down somewhere and just enjoy that scenery and just sit there and listen to the water and the leaves rustle and the birds, and you could almost hear the bees humming and all those flowers on those trees. It's so calming to me, and I've just fell in love with this picture. Gosh, it seems like it's been 4 years ago. I don't know. It's hard to believe it could be quite that long, but 3 or 4 years ago. So what is everybody else up to? What are you working on? I had a mixed bag of tricks day yesterday. Yeah, what can I say? It's been fun. Fun, fun, fun. I worked on cleaning up the room. As you can see, it doesn't look like there's too much difference in those pictures. I put a before and an after picture. So, yeah. But it's like it's all in limbo because I have to get to the other room to kind of straighten it around and organize it so that I can put 3/4 of those boxes into the front. We'll call it the front bedroom. Yeah. But it is what it is, and it's where it's at. So we got a little bit accomplished. Got 2 bags of trash worth taken out of there. And yeah, I'm just done. And I didn't overdo it, so we're good. And friends are supposed to be showing up today to pick up those pieces of miscellaneous that I have for them. And I have to take a bag that's just crammed full of stickers, and there's some paints and all kinds of stuff in there that I'm giving to my daughter so that she'll have some kind of artsy craftsy stuff for the kids to work on in the summertime. So, yay. Yay, yay, yay. But I couldn't figure out what. Have you ever had those days where you just can't figure out what you want to work on? So it started out, I pulled out inspiration, and I worked on it for about a half an hour. Then I figured something was off. Not sure what, but, I'm having the worst time with that. And, my greatest thought about that is this. It said, it led me to believe that you needed to do that on even weave. And because there was 1/1 in the middle. So I'm checking this out, and I might be wrong. I don't know, because, you know, sometimes I look at stuff and it takes 3 or 4 hitches at it. But the only thing that I could tell that was 1/1 in that pattern, you know, you have the big house, and then there's something else there. But you have these people that you put like in front, like they're walking or whatever. There's like 4 figures, and they're all done 1/1. They're not that big of a deal of the pattern. You could leave them out. And I'm getting thoughts in my brain about going to 123 Stitch and ordering a piece that of fabric that is at least 16 count and doing it on that and leaving the people out, because it's not like it's, yeah, yes, it's part of the design, but for me it would be far easier to stitch on if it was on 16 count, because I'm not real good at back stitching to start out with. But what is going on here? There's so much back stitching in it. And then back stitching on even weave is not my bag. I can't seem to figure out, well, first I have a problem figuring out where to put the stitch, let alone where I'm going to put the back stitching. So it's like working on a nightmare. So I'm going to go over the pattern one more time, you know, scan it really good. And if that's the only 1/1 is those people, they are taking a hike. They just will be non-existent. So I've just really got to sit down and think about it. And the only reason, and I worked a little bit on the trees, the Italian trees, and frankly, the only reason that I went with the even weave 32 count is because I couldn't find a piece of fabric that was long enough to accommodate that picture. I thought it would look kind of stupid if I sewed it together, like 2 pieces of Ada or whatever. I thought it would look crazy, so I didn't want to do that. But that's the only reason why I picked 32 count, because I couldn't get a big enough piece of anything for that. And I don't know. I'm just a little disheartened, maybe. I don't know. I guess you live and learn. So, hey, I don't know what we're going to do with at least a yard. Maybe even more. I think it's probably about a yard of that 32 count even weave. Sure, I could use it for other projects that were smaller, which would be fine, and have it in my stash, because at the end of the day, that piece of fabric was not nearly as expensive as it could have been. So I guess what I'm saying, it's no sweat off my back, so to speak. I don't know. But I'm just, it just goes so slow. And I have the worst time counting and seeing. And because when you stitch on 32 count even weave, now this has been my experience only, okay? It feels like 18 count because the stitches are so small. I'd make sure I was doing the right symbol. So, I don't know. May have to change that up a bit. So there's 3 that will have to be changed up. The other one is, what do you call it? Ann Thomas, Hands Across the Sea. I started it on 16 count, Picture This Plus Opal. And once again, very, very small. Um, and it was just, whew. But it is one that is going to have to be done on even weave because it's 1/1. I skipped a whole bunch of stitches. Did you see that? I hope you can see this. So, yeah, just working things out in my brain. But it seems like every time I get 16 count, either even weave or 28 count from Picture This Plus, it's always a size smaller, if you will, than what you're actually after. So, we'll see. We will see. Oh, I got notified that my orders are coming for both of them are on the way, shall we say. I don't expect to get them before Wednesday, or at least that late. If it does, hey, great. Just know this post office, and it always seems to take a roundabout trip. Both my orders from 123 Stitch have been shipped. And on one of them, one of the patterns won't be here or be shipped, it says, until May 10th because they ran out of them. Which is fine. I don't need another thing to start. Still haven't got the, what do you call it? The pre-stamps from do-it-yourself digital art. I think that's what it's called. So, yay. It'd be nice to get them, just to know that they're here and made it on the slow boat from China. It'll get here. I have no doubt. I was watching Yvette. She's the she does white on white stitching. Don't ask me why, but I watched that just because I'm fascinated. I think it's a beautiful, what do you call it? Way of stitching, you know, that white on white look. Not that I would ever pick it up because it'd be like stitching on black on black. I wouldn't be able to see it. But I just think the end results are just fascinating. And of course, it goes into some of the Italian needlework and all that. But the point was of that whole conversation, rabbit hole. She said it took her a year to get this fabric that they use for that. And she had finally gotten it in. And she'd ordered it around March of last year. Oh, yeah. So I don't feel bad. Don't feel bad at all. So we got it. And some things, I've ordered diamond paintings that never showed up. But it happens. It does. So, I don't know. It just takes a while. And of course, now that problem right there, that in case in point, is that they had to manufacture it. You know what I mean? And due to the pandemic and everything else, they weren't manufacturing this or that, so. Or they couldn't, the people that manufactured it couldn't get the materials and stuff, so. You know, it's not like it was lost in the mail for a year. But, yeah. But it didn't happen very often that I didn't get what I ordered, you know. I think that one time, and I have no idea if somebody put it in somebody else's mailbox or whatever and they didn't return it up front. I have no idea. But it was just a small diamond painting and never got that one. So, and that's been, what, 2 years ago? So, one time at band camp. Oh, no. I never even watched that show. But my stepson, he used to say that all the time. One time at band camp. Because I'd always start a story. Well, one time, and he'd go, one time at band camp? And I'm like, what? So, yeah, I got used to him saying that. So, oh, God. Kids. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, I went and I worked on, it's the Little Bird Quaker Sampler. I think that's what it's called, from Modern Folk Embroidery. I worked on it a little bit last night. Just because it was 16 count and I could see it. Because by then my whole stitching being was done. I just, between running back and forth and waiting for them, they didn't come. And then stitching on that 32. Oh, of course, I kept picking up 32 or 28 count. I was like, okay, can we just stitch something where I can actually see what's going on and work the pattern here? Yeah, it was that kind of a day. So I should have just come or gotten one of my pre-stamps and just sat down. Because they're so easy to pick up and put down, pick up and put down. You don't have to worry about, now, did I count that right or did I not count that right? But I just, in the back of my brain, my little pea brain here, I think if I keep working, picking up the 28 or the 32, it's going to go better each time. Does that make sense? Or I'll get onto it more, because I've done cross stitch for 30 years on Ada. Always a form of Ada. But I just keep practicing with the 28 and the 32. And I wanted to get the room finished. That was like an all-day field event, because I'd do a little bit and then I'd sit down and do it a little bit and sit down. And I wasn't moving anything around too heavy, just kind of sorting through boxes of, do I really need to clean this or keep this crap? There was decisions to be made. And I was trying not to push myself, and I didn't move any furniture. So it was just a choppy day. So I'm ready for a non-choppy day. Now, of course, I got to go out today and go to the grocery store, and I feel like sometimes on my 4 days off, it's great to have 4 days off, but I feel like all I do is run up and down the road for 4 days. I just got to stop and get more organized. So that's why I decided to clean that room out. And next 4 days, I'm going to get to the big room, because it's a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare. And there's stuff that I can't move, that I wouldn't even attempt to move in there. But I can work around it, and I can stack stuff, like along one wall, but it just needs to get organized. Because when I'm not organized, I feel like my whole life is not organized. And this has just been weighing on the back of me. And since the weather's nice, it's not cold in that room, because it can get really cold in both those rooms. So you just don't want to do those things. I want to just stay on the couch with my robe on and my fluffy lounge pants and stitch, or just sit there and veg out and watch TV. And I just don't feel like doing these things. I guess, this is a means to an end, because I don't want to go out there and rake the yard. Because Now that's a little bit more physical, and if I can talk my daughter into it, she usually comes and helps. And if I can just get it raked, then she can help me get it into bags, and then we can just throw it in the trash. But yeah, I don't want to have to do that before I have to. And it's been wet, and it snowed like every other day, and it's just been crazy. So I'm just trying to let it dry out. I say that in the back of my mind so I won't have to go out there and do it. But it really needs it because we've had a lot of wind since fallish, where right before it snowed and in between, and it's knocked down a bunch of little tiny sticks or whatever on the trees. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'd rather stay inside and stitch. It's less energy for me, but hey, some days. And so I like to get out there before it gets to be really, really hot. We do have some shade out there, but it's nice that it's warm enough to work, but not stinking hot, because we painted the house, my daughter and I, in the summer. I thought we were both going to die. So, yeah. We're just, I am not an outdoor girl. But some things need to get done out there. So, I'm using the indoor stuff to avoid doing all the outdoor stuff. Does that make sense? So, fun times. And the wind can get quite radical here. It's just like it blows right through a trough. Comes right in between my trailer and the guy next door. Oh, Lord. So, not too many plans this week. Just playing it by ear. We get in what we get in. But, yeah, I must have worked on 4 different projects yesterday just because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. Getting kind of tight right here because I'm stitching in between things. Come on. Sorry about that, guys. Molly was going to lay up there and look out the window, and then she started barking. So, and I called her down for it, and she's been laying down on the couch ever since. Because she wanted to get up there and look out and bark. What can I say? It is what it is. Well, we're getting this color done. A lot of greens. Hang on. Well, for piece 8, get in the hole. Didn't work on my beaded cross stitch yesterday. Or get my little metal thing. My little drawer that's supposed to hold all the doodads put together yet. But we're getting there. Didn't watch anything really good on Netflix, I don't think. think I just watched or put on Grey's Anatomy. You know, it just kind of runs. Just so there's something running in the background. Watch some floss tube. Of course, Nicola was on. Nicola Parkman. You know, the one name I can't pronounce. Love her to death. I watched Sambry Stitch's interview with floss tubers. And I think it was KB. They're really nice people. I don't catch them too often. But it was really a good interview. And she does a really good job at that, of talking to people and learning, you know, getting them to talk about themselves and how they got started stitching and that kind of thing, which is really good. Can't tell. So, oh, there we go. I'm working, I'll turn it sideways so you can see it in perspective. Can you see that? Where is it? Alright. So it's just this little tree affair coming up to the part of the road that goes, not road, path, I should say, goes around. That's so cool. I want to get to the flowers. You know me, got to get to the Chewy Center. It's just the way I roll. But all of this, you know, it makes a picture. Because some of them, you know, I'll say, well, I want to get to the house, or I want to get to this or that. But everything that's in this picture makes it just do it for me. Just, you know, all the pink flowers and the water. And I mean, I can see it in real life. Does that make sense? Yeah. I'd eventually like to get my yard, whoops, I went right back up the one I went down. Get my yard cleaned up and put a table and chairs out there and be able to sit out there, but you'd have to get like wrought iron, and then you'd have to take like lag bolts and drill it through the ground just to keep them from moving out there, because we get too much wind for that. But it'd be nice. You know, I even bought the stupid stain to put on the porch, but now the more I think about it, the more I'd kind of like to have a different porch built. You know, that would solve a lot of things. If I could have it like a long porch put out there. But there's a concrete slab that gets in the way. So you'd have to either attach it, you know, one way or another. And then they put, like, what do you call it? Brick? I don't know how to explain it. The pathway, like, around the porch to the gate is, what do you call it? Like bricks. Like small square bricks. Yeah. It was nice, and it was a nice idea. And then they made little flower beds, and the flowers don't grow. Yeah. Because, yeah. You put the flowers out there, and the next thing you know, it's snowing the first week of June. I'd kind of like to go with my daughter's idea, go to Hobby Lobby and buy a bunch of plastic flowers and just put them out there every year. So it makes it look good, but it's fake. You know, you don't have to water it. You don't have to worry about the weather killing it. And, oh, God. Yeah, the first year I was here, I put plants out there, and I had tubs of stuff because I had started beans and peppers and tomatoes, and I was going to do container gardening. Yeah, big old hailstorm came along and shredded everything. I was like, we're done. No, we're not doing that much effort again. So, and the flowers just won't grow. Just won't grow. Alright guys, well I think that that's going to be about it today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. And that way you'll know when my next video comes out. Stay safe, stay healthy, do all the things. God bless, and we will see you tomorrow. Keep stitching. Bye-bye.